right, so early on in the week, you guys on the Facebook chat were spouting off about some celebrities who I know, and what is he? He's a celebrity. He's kind of a celebrity. He's a socialite
Jesus
amongst
Christ.
He
what?
played Jesus, and now he thinks he's Jesus
Played Jesus on what?
On
in the
what?
Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that once, like
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe
everybody's.
when it came out.
It's not terrible. It's just it's only a one viewing thing. I don't think you can watch a guy be flailed like I mean, and knowing that there is like a 2,000-year-old history that's attached to modern history, and just like that was a good one. You guys want to do it again next weekend? Fuck yeah! So Jim Caviezel is an actor, and I would say that Jim Caviezel probably doesn't get a lot of acting roles because of his how shall we say, orthodox stance on things, and it all kind of filters into like, I don't know, Alan, pick up where my brain's leaving off here. You get what you and I seem to have a good little like Spock melding of the minds going on with this.
yeah. I mean, so we were talking about, I don't know where you found whatever you found that started this whole thing, but like about like Jim Caviezel. I guess he's got that new movie out or whatever, and fucking he's playing Prophet again, and so now he's aware of an elite group of celebrities that definitely fucking eat the adrenochrome like we've talked about before. But again, like I think, like no, Chip Caviezel's a good actor, man. Like he's done some good shit, but like I think he poisoned his brain when he played Jesus. Like Mel Gibson fucking poisoned the man's brain, and now the guy just walks around being like, "I'm Jesus," and people are like, "Nah, you're not. You're fucking Jim Caviezel. You haven't had a good role since fucking playing Jesus.
Well,
That's why you want to play Jesus."
I think what happened is when Jim Caviezel was going around doing press for Passion of the Christ, he kind of had to like defend like, why make a movie like this? That whole rigmarole that you get from like the very atheist Hollywood reporter types, and he had to be like, I'm a man of faith. I mean, it's a big deal playing Jesus. I got to get it right. And then Mel Gibson went off and made that movie on his own without the help of Hollywood producers. And what happened to Mel Gibson shortly after that? He went on this crazy tirade about how, like, those people in Hollywood, and you know who those people are, people who maybe got...
He called them the Jews. Is what I believe Mel Gibson's words were the Jews.
Okay. I'm
and so,
paraphrasing.
That typically warrants a response from greater civilized society because of that one time that the Jews had that thing happen. You know what I mean? So, look, we got to the point earlier. What was it? Somebody said earlier when we were talking like rich people need rich people friends because they just don't like only rich people get it. Right. And so I agreed. I was like, look, there probably are some crazy ass motherfuckers eating baby adrenal glands. Like, it's like 15, 20 of them. It's not the QAnon fucking like world fucking cabal of baby eaters that like they want you to think it is. But, you know, like I think I said, I was like, if I was a billionaire, I'd hunt a human. Like, I get it, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the hors d'oeuvre at a cocktail hour is fresh served in a martini glass adrenochrome ceviche. It's got lime juice. It's got the accoutrement, cilantro, onion,
fresh scallops,
the big tortilla chips around, so you can just kind of goop it out, put it in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, feel better.
But see, in the same breath, though, it was in a 3-day span because, again, Mel Gibson's out. Like, he's not even out promoting the movie that he's made with Jim Caviezel about human trafficking. He's out saying, like, listen, guys, we got to stop human trafficking. And nobody's giving him any good press over this movie. Like, he's actually making a film that should hopefully, I would think, that most of the world could rally behind, like, hey, let's stop people from stealing children and possibly putting them in oil drums and shipping them across the world at $77,000 a barrel to suck the, I don't know, spring of life from a gland that grows inside of their body. You'd think that would be a worthwhile cause, if in fact true. But we see all these things like Ashton Kutcher going around with Mila Kunis talking about like we got to stop human trafficking. It seems like those are the people who don't get work anymore, the ones who are talking about like save the children from the evil elite people with billions of dollars.
Yeah,
And why
I mean,
is that?
there's probably something there. Like I said, there's at least 20 of them that eat baby fucking glands. Like,
Yeah, because
I'm willing to give him that. But like, I also think one, Jim Caviezel typecasted himself, so he doesn't get he doesn't get casted because he wants to play Jesus all the time. And unless Mel Gibson makes another Jesus movie, there's not really a role for Jim Caviezel in fucking Hollywood.
Okay.
Fucking Ashton Kutcher, that guy's done. What do we talk about? Why that guy doesn't work because he's done. Fucking Mila Kunis, fucking kind of the same. She's still pretty though. But do we really want to fucking see her do anything? No. So like, I get it, but like, I don't think that's where it goes off the rails. Is human trafficking a problem? Yes. Is pedophilia a problem? Yes. Do they get stuffed in Chinese drums for $77,000 to get to ship to the elite cabal? No. That's where the disconnect of reality comes.
Wes, what were you gonna say? 'Cause I feel like this is all wrapped in. I got two other examples here.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, is the conspiracy that they're being blackballed, that they speak out against human trafficking and the
I think that's just a
elitist?
convenient side note to a bunch of fucking irrelevant actors being like, we gotta stop fucking child trafficking rings.
I think there is going back to the Mel Gibson thing. Mel Gibson going crazy, losing his fucking mind at a traffic stop talking about Hollywood. I think because he was talking about at the time, you got to play ball with these people, and you think about the Harvey Weinsteins of the world. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Harvey's so great." Everybody thanking Harvey Weinstein for their Oscar. Meanwhile, we find out that he's got like a gangrenous penis that everybody's been suckling on to go get their Oscar. And then all of a sudden, it's like Harvey goes to jail, and everybody's like, "That guy was a demon spawn sucking the adrenochrome out of his children that he got from an oil barrel fostered by Jim Caviezel." Like, see what I mean? Like, it all starts to kind of link together. And then I heard Ice Cube talking about how, like, he turned down a $9 million movie role because they said he couldn't be on the movie unless he got vaccinated. And he was like, never mind. And now we've got Jamie Foxx, who apparently, maybe, allegedly, got a vaccination, got himself hurt, can't see, starting to come around finally after a few months. But again, it
Hasn't
kind of
that been debunked with Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx?
I thought his family made a statement. They were like, motherfucker.
Well, you make a statement if you've got fucking more movie roles coming down the pipe that are worth $15-25 million a pop. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
the statement isn't gonna make the movie roles come. If he's all lopsided and shit now, he ain't playing Ray Charles no more.
but or now it's even more believable.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets typecasted as something, you know?
I guess what I'm getting at is, at what point do we start to kind of like, I know what you guys are saying, like, wasn't that debunked? Maybe there were statements made that debunk like what's on the surface. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Super Conspiracy, but isn't that what they would like come forward and be like, hey, we're going to need you to make this statement, okay?
I think, man, we're in a reasonable middle ground. But the problem is that these types of things have been poisoned by fucking going just a little too far. And that's when you lose those of us who are like, yeah, human trafficking rings, big fucking problem. Seems like it's becoming more prominent of a problem. We should probably do something about that. What? Why? You think it's because lizard elites are eating their adrenal gland? No. I think it's because people are fucking creeps and want to fuck kids. That's why I think it's happening. You think it's happening because you're fucking crazy. Like, not you specifically, Mer, but like the argument. That's where I think the disconnect is.
Sure.
It's like we've got the split. We're like, yep, let's take care of it. Definitely a thing we should do.
No, and I agree.
I know that I want to work with you to do this because you are weird. You know what I'm saying?
Wes, what are you gonna say?
Well, I should say, like, let's not, pigeonhole human trafficking into children. There was, I don't know if it exists anymore. There was a billboard on Route 40 in Cecil County, and I asked my cousin about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, apparently it's getting kind of bad, and it's not just kids, it's families, middle-aged women, and typically either people into like." They're seeing a lot of people who are there on green card stuff because they haven't,
they're harder to track and shit. Yeah. I mean, look, I have a little slightly less sympathy for a grown adult getting kidnapped. It's just look. That's just how it shakes out for me. I'm sorry. Don't get kidnapped. But fucking yeah, like, and I think the focus is, again, this is where a part of where we fucking leave it. Yes, should grown women not be human trafficked, like, and taken? Absolutely. But the crazies don't ever talk about that. They're just talking about kids getting trafficked for fucking eating purposes. Like, that's where the fucking disconnect is. It's like, we got a
Right.
common goal to stop this happening, except y'all are fucking crazy. And
But
how are we gonna stop that? That's not a real thing. We can't stop a fake thing.
I do find it funny though, or in the most horrible way possible, how like once it gets to like that level, like the kid eating part of it, like that's when the like people that could actually donate money, that have money to donate, are like, never mind.
Because
they like
I
shut
think
the
you're gonna fucking do something weird with the money if I'm a rich person. Like, you have an organization over here. You have, what do you got over here? You got a network of people in third world countries that help you traffic these girls to safe place. That seems like a place I want to spend my money. There's a structure there, and then you've got, they're eating fucking baby glands. And you're like, what are you gonna do with my $2 million baby gland guy?
The human fun. People helping people.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I guess let's just say, I honestly feel like the guy who thinks that they are eating baby glands, that might be the guy to give the money to, because if he's so concerned, like, oh my god, they're gonna be eating baby glands, then give that guy the money, because he's in deep on it, man. He's gonna try to stop it because he thinks they're doing the worst thing possible.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. But my point is like, all right, let's hypothetical example, right? Fucking classy organization run by fucking some respectable lady, B-list celebrity that isn't an elite Kabbalist and is definitely trustworthy, that we will give money to.
Dolly Parton.
Yes, perfect. She begins paying up more fucking third world spies to find more third world fucking traffic. Fucking a baby eating guy starts hunting for fucking human lizard people at fucking Masonic temples, because that's who's eating the baby glands. And like, that money's going to waste now. Dolly Parton putting it to use, trying to find actual people, getting lost and shipped, and trying to get them back to their countries and their families. Other guy hunting for a thing that doesn't exist.
Okay, that's a fair point. I'll take that.
That guy probably thinks that the human gland eater is listening to Dolly Parton soundtrack, one of her early '70s classics.
Well, that's because there's messages embedded in the song.
Yeah. Something about
America,
big
we're
chested
so close on so many things,
What do you
but
think
so fucking far apart.
that island that she was speaking to was Epstein Island? Think about it.
Well, yeah. On a serious note, we're
9
only
to
like
5.
we're only like 250 years removed from fucking the entire world basically marrying fucking 15-year-olds. All right, so like, is it that weird that there's a bunch of rich people wanting to bang kids? No, it's not okay. But like, let's root some things in reality. They're just banging kids. That's fucking not okay, and we should focus on that part, not the part that isn't real.
Well, I think where people get like drawn into the conspiracy, I'll put my hand up, like, hey, I'm here too. Is like with the Epstein stuff, like just not looking any further, like, nope, he's dead. That's it. Sorry, guys. Gazelle, Jelaine, or whatever fuck her name is, she's in jail. Case closed. It's like, wait a second. There's a lot of people with a lot of rich names on a lot of logs saying they went to this place and they don't know shit about shit. Like, really? And then we stop there?
That's something I could get behind. Like, I'm fine with that. Let's fucking, like, I think like a lot of times on forums and shit, or like Facebook posts and shit, people be like, why hasn't the list come out? And then there's a fucking liberal who's also like, yeah, why hasn't the fucking list come out? And like, we're both like, yeah, let's figure that shit out. But we're like, because those are fucking rich people banging kids. And you guys are like, not you, Mur, again, the other side is like, those people are rich people eating kids. And one thing's happening and one thing's not happening.
Right. Well, let's find the middle ground. Let's find the people who are like,
let's focus on the action. People and children are getting taken against their will. That's it. That's what we should focus on. That's
Right.
the whole. That's it. What happens after that is yes, probably where we prioritize who we save, but it ain't the baby eating because that's not happening.
Sure. You could say, check it out. If you catch the human traffickers on that baseline level,
Yeah.
you might find out that hey people, you know what I mean? Follow the breadcrumbs, and then once it's the human trafficking taken care of, like, well, nothing after that. Just case closed. Sorry, folks.
But let's follow something. You know, like let's just try. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole here, but like somebody just put up like a list of like all the people who have died in like the Clinton circle, and it was like the number's like 47, and all they wrote was like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, any of you guys know 47 people that you've been intimate friends with that have passed away in your lifetime?" And I was starting to think like, shit, how many people do I know that have actually died? And I'm in my 40s. I mean, they're 25, 30 years older than me, but like my number is still less than 10. Like not
I was gonna
40.
say, they're at an age where a lot of people died, and
But died in curious ways, not of natural causes.
Are they
Oh,
curious
yeah.
just because they knew the Clintons? Because I feel like that's how, like, some guy fucking died in a rollerblading accident. He was like, well, went to fucking Hillary Clinton's high school. Like, you know, it's shit
No,
like that.
like a guy who like magically became really depressed and jumped out of his apartment window like right before they were gonna come ask him some questions and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, they've been in politics a long time. That was my other point to that. They've been around a bunch of older, also fucking decrepit pieces of shit. So, like, it's not that unusual to me that 47 people around them have died, if that's whatever the number was, because they're old as fuck. They were around a bunch of shitty ass people who were also old as fuck
I know,
and
but
probably banging babies with them.
But when you say shitty ass people, like it's like the whole like, hey, maybe if there's smoke, we should see if there's a fire burning somewhere. Like,
Yeah, but I agree, but like again, this is the root cause is the pedophilia and the fucked up shit. That's why we haven't gotten to the root of it, because we have fucking baby eating and lizard people and fucking all the frazzle drips and fucking like all types of shit. We have these things distracting from guys, people getting taken. Let's focus on the problem, not whatever's happening after the problem. Like, we get it. It's a problem. Whether they're getting eaten, whether they're getting fucked, whether they're getting sold, all bad. Let's focus on the action.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's something you said earlier that really rang true. You said that, was it Jim what?
Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel got typecasted, and he has a hard time finding work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason fucking Screech got more work is because there was more Saved by the Bell seasons. There was the college years, and then the second year, you know, that's why. There were more Passions of Christ or Passionless Christ or
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not
Christ,
that unusual.
Christ
like,
hanging out.
Like, I feel
We've
like
got a lot
what,
more
what
stuff.
Jim Caviezel did was like, it's not that unusual these days. Like, you watch like a person in a show or something that becomes like massive. Like Dwight from The Office has never done anything ever again. That guy's just fucking Dwight.
There's
You
that
know what I mean?
drummer.
Because
that
that's
drummer.
it. Yeah, that's right. And it was terrible. It fucking sucked. You know what I mean? Jim Caviezel, he Jesused real fucking hard, and he's got nothing left. He's at the end of his actor rope.
I think somebody like Jim Caviezel, people are like, fuck that guy. I don't want to hire him because he's like, he loves Jesus too much. He loves him so much he played him in a movie.
Look, extremists are extremists, no matter the religion.
I agree, but like, I mean, I don't know, like a really nice guy who really wants to like bring morals and ethics to like his line of work. Like, I don't see that. Like,
Yeah,
if
but,
you're
like,
still talented,
It's at this but like to other people who don't believe those beliefs, it could be construed as he wants to bring his morals at the sake of other human lives around him. So, you know, like, so we're not all, well, we're Christian. I'm fucking not anything, but we understand Christianity and we're in a Christian general centralized society. But like, yeah, generally speaking, fuck that. I don't want to hear you preach about Christianity.
well,
And I know
guess-
more about Christianity than you do.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess in a general sense, what I was getting at is like, shouldn't we like the internet? This comes back to something we talked about a while ago. Like the internet's going to stop all the bullshit. Like people aren't going to be able to bullshit like they once could because there's going to be too much stuff where people can say like, "Hey, remember when you said this?" Like any like political candidate, "I never said that." Like, "Oh, here's the clip." And they just fire up a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
Like at some point I'm going to ask Wes, do you think that this whole deck of cards, this little castle is going to come crumbling down at some point? Like with these people, because these people are up to some shady shit. And like Alan said, like billionaires got to get their rocks off doing billionaire shit. Like they got to do stuff like this. But at some point, are they not going to be able to cover it up anymore and not get away with it?
The politicians and the leaders and the gatekeepers of this country?
Yeah, the gatekeeper. We'll call them the gatekeepers. They don't have to be politicians. They can be, media moguls. They can be this. They can be that. But they just have to be at the top and pulling strings somehow.
I mean, that would make sense. I don't know. I mean, then how far down the slippery conspiracy rope do you want to go? Because then people would be like, well, those people control what we see on the internet. Okay, we don't get all the valuable information. And I like that. That's bullshit too. But I mean, do I think that the internet is making it harder for these people to get away with these types of things? Yeah. I mean, to an extent, how much, I don't know. But my guess would be, somewhere between marginal and adequate.
Yeah, the problem is that like we fucking, like I mean, we probably as Americans we don't like to admit it, but like much like our friends over in Mother Russia, we let money get a little too much power, and that money does whatever the fuck it wants. It maybe eats babies. It definitely fucks them. Like, you know what I mean? So. We're kind of in a scenario of our own making here where we're like, you know what's great? The American dollar. And now now the American dollar is fucking us right up the butt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In very many ways.
Our little baby butts.
That's analogy. Metaphor.
Man. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot more stuff coming out day by day that just kind of freaks me the fuck out. That makes me think like, again, I know there's like an echo in the force when you say like Alex Jones, but like, thinking of him talking about Epstein Island like over a decade ago. And it's like, this guy's a fucking lunatic crazy man. True. But every now and again, lunatic crazy men who keep fucking walking down these narrow paths where they keep finding obstacles and keep hopping over them, sometimes they're right. And sometimes people try to take them down because they don't like what they are actually onto. And I wonder if more people are getting onto some stuff. And like today, I saw like there's congressional hearings going on. And like they're talking about like everything that Elon Musk has ever tweeted, like the FTC has been like looking at. And they're like, has he committed a crime? Like, well, no. Like, so you're looking for future crimes? Like, what are you doing? They're like, well, he owns a big. It's like, so what? He's allowed. Like, I don't know. It's just like there's so much shit going on. It's. I don't know. I'm starting to become more of. This kind of comes to your point, Alan. I'm starting to become a believer of more things because seem like they're covering up all the things that they could. If they would just take down one giant quote unquote crime syndicate. Maybe I could back off some of this squirrely shit.
But see, here's the thing: like that's the part of the thing. I think it becomes this disconnect is like, fucking. I would say from like where I stand, I understand that all of these things exist, like this human trafficking and fucking back table dealings at boardrooms with fucking mega corporations monopolizing resources and fucking like I get that shit is happening, but like. It's the example we've been using is the baby eating. It's the everything that gets above. It's like, well, the FBI and CIA and fucking 8,000 fucking individual human beings are keeping this a secret for the last 100. No, that's not fucking true. That's not happening. We are just allowing. We have allowed ourselves as a country and a system to fucking let money and fucking its influence take over our everyday lives and literally fucking everything. That like we watch these congressional hearings and it's the Republicans being like, see, fucking Hunter Biden did cocaine off his laptop and fucking it's a Democrat hearing being like, see, fucking Elon Musk tweeting about dicks and emerald mines and shit, and like, so and it's all because Elon Musk is like, here's a couple $100,000, man, fucking talk about that fucking shit, you know what I mean? And then you got fucking big pharma being like, hey, you should probably talk about that Chinese spy that motherfucker was fucking with or something. And it's all just money flying behind the fucking scenes, and we're the fucking assholes eating shit, like. As soon as America, both sides can have this discussion and be like, you know what? Fuck those. We need to be like the French. We need to start burning shit. You want to raise my retirement age 2 years? Fuck you. We're burning the palace.
Some napalm, you know, some Molotov cocktails, something
Fuck
silly.
you. We everybody stop working. Everybody.
That's a good point. Stop paying your taxes.
Yeah.
This is why like already I'm deciding I'm gonna vote for RFK because they're all like that guy's a nut job, and I'm like, okay, I want the nut job then, because if you're calling him a nut job and you're calling him a nut job, he's the sanest man in the motherfucking room. That's my guy now.
Or a super nut job at this point. It's one of the two.
Takes one to know one type shit. Hey, 9 to 5, classic Dolly Parton. You know what you know what that means? You were reading between the lines. We like adrenochrome from middle class people.
No, that was that's a fucking indoctrination anthem. Yeah, it got millions of Americans to believe that they need to work from 9 to 5, whether it's schooling, whether it's working. You got to be fucking working for your corporate overlords. You fucking drones. Get in there. You better be in the office by 9, and you better not fucking leave before 5, you piece of shit.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, though, you look
Dolly
back
Parton
on those.
sang it.
You look back on those.
I know.
At least they were paying him a living wage when she wrote the fucking
The
song.
most anti-corporate bitch in the fucking entire world.
You do that for a movie.
That's good stuff.
Great stuff.
That's all right. All right, well, look, let's hop to something, I guess, quasi-adrenochrome? I don't know. Who knows? This is a segment we call Nastradumbass, and Mr. Murr.
I gotta, hold on, adjust. Sorry.
Mr. Murr.
Yes.
Tell the audience what we're going to be talking about on tonight's Nastradumbass.
Well, we are going to summon Nastradumbass from the eternal realm of being to discuss human grown. No, I'm sorry. Well, technically, it's human grown. It is lab grown meats. Apparently, going onto the market very soon will be lab grown beef and chicken. They basically take cells and they put them in a petri dish and they grow them until they are full size. And oh my God, this is amazing that Nostradamus has been summoned from the Eternal to discuss lab grown meat. Nostradamus, are you aware of what's going on in the scientific world, and that they are going to be allowing through the FDA the sell of lab-grown meats?
Artificial meats, huh?
First of all, thank you for joining us, Nasha.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me again, guys. Appreciate it. It's always a good time. First time, long time. But
Big fan of your hat, by the way.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's new. It's early 1500s Middle East. It's a thing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we'll talk about lab-grown meat. You said.
That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy Barnabas about this a couple hundred years ago, and I saw fake meat coming, because you know how hard it is to make meat.
No, it's not. Actually, it's probably one of the simplest processes of all time. I mean, you have a couple animals, just get it on in the backyard, and a couple months later, you got some new meat.
Look, buddy.
Yeah.
That's when you had a family of 4 and you had your own little farmstead and you'd kill a pig and a cow. You'd have food for months. All right? I know what you guys are doing over there. You guys are fucking pushing the limits of population. I talked about that too. You should read some of my books sometimes. You guys ask a lot of questions that I've already answered. Just throw that out there. But
I gotta say, you this time you spent in the ethereal has really turned you into a cantankerous motherfucker, right?
Well, I think it's my new hat.
Okay.
It makes me feel saucy.
Okay.
But either way. So, lab-grown meat, man.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it's the new realm.
Lab-grown meat, though, it's a little sketchy. I don't know that I would eat it. I'd probably rather eat a human than lab-grown meat. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Fair enough.
I'm not into human stringy. I've had it before, but before fake chicken? Probably.
Well,
Is it chicken or is it beef?
It's a little bit of both. They're working on both. They're going to be sold basically in like almost like a ground beef / ground chicken, ground turkey kind of packaging. I guess that's the only way, because I mean there's no muscular like they can't really like simulate the meat moving in reality. So it won't be like chicken breast or I don't know, New York strip. It'll just be like ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey.
Okay.
But it'll be done in a laboratory where they'll grow it. Now, why again, you're saying overpopulation, but there's still a lot of fertile lands out there that we could, maybe manipulate, terrace, whatever, you get my point, that we could use to create new animal life. Couldn't we just readjust farming and how it works? Why go the scientific route to create meat for consumption?
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here, and I don't know how economy is in your time, but economy in my time, people like making money. And the lab process is a little bit more expensive, so I think that pound of fucking fake meat's probably going to cost you a pretty penny compared to chopping down a cow out back and putting it through the grinder. So yeah, man, that's whether it's shekels in my time, dollars in your time, it's all about the fucking almighty shekel.
Now, Nastradumbass, you may have actually had been negatively impacted by this fact a little bit more than we are because of the processing and because of the advent of the refrigerator and things like that. But a growing number of Americans harbor concerns about the current meat industry's environmental impact, which accounts for 14.5% of global carbon emissions. Now, here's the kicker. Massive livestock operations can also be breeding grounds for harmful antibiotic-resistant bacteria. What do you say to those people who are like, yeah, you put it in a lab, doesn't have any of that stuff?
I mean, look, we don't even have toilets, man. So I think you guys are getting a little soft, is all I'm saying. Just if there's some dirt on your meat, rub some dirt on it, and it'll equal out. And just go ahead and pop that bad boy in your mouth.
Fair enough. Is there okay? Now we spoke at the beginning of the show, maybe a little too elaborately about the global cabal that's going on. Is there yet another global cabal that you can foresee based on lab grown meat? Is this another way to take down what we would call Middle America? The heartland, and maybe put some of these people who have spent generations raising this sort of product, to take it away from them, to give it to the global elitists who can now only mandate it inside of a laboratory.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna let you in on a secret here, and some might call it a conspiracy after the words come out of my mouth. Not me. I'm just telling you what I may or may not know. And what I may or may not know is that those elites that you're so concerned about, they got a hankering for human meat, and they're starting to turn their eyes to the human population. Okay, and so in order to kind of curb their bloodlust, we have to come up with something. And I'll tell you, that lab meat tastes conspicuously like human meat. So I would say tell all your friends with money, eat lab meat, because what you don't want to be is their dinner as the impending apocalypse comes.
That's fair.
They're having a hankering, buddy. And that's not adrenal. It's not adrenal glands yet. We haven't reached that point. We're almost there. But yes, sir, human meat. These elites are about it. Be careful.
Well, Dad, not so dumbass. Sorry, I think I gotta fix my camera a little bit. Give me a moment.
No, you look good.
Do you foresee a situation, because what's, a little bit of sliced meat without some cheese and crackers, little lab grown cheese and crackers coming up, some of the sides, some accoutrement, a stacker, if you will, maybe pickles, mustard.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but those things are already on the scene. You ever had a Ritz? Made in the lab. You ever had a block of Velveeta? Fucking lab.
Made in the
baby.
lab.
Yeah. So, keep your eyes wide open, gentlemen. Things are happening. Things are moving fast. It's the information age. I don't think it is. I think the information age was like 20 years ago. But either way, shit's moving fast.
So
lab grown foods.
So you are convinced that we start with beef, move to chicken,
Yeah.
and then it's on the human meat.
Yeah.
Now now I can weigh this one way or the other. Now, is lab-grown human meat going to satiate the cravings of people who want human, or is it going to entice those who have never tried human to crave fresh human even more?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. When they consulted me about it, I said, maybe we're thinking too much about what we could do and not what we should do. To steal a line from my pal Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. But yeah, it could be a problem. There's a legit problem. The hope is that it satiates the elites so that they don't start going on a murderous, bloodlusted rampage to regular humans like you and I. Well, you. And the caveat to that could be that we turn all humans into human meat, bloodthirsty fucking heathens. And then we just, the apocalypse happens a little quicker. And it's a little more brutal.
Yeah, because I don't want to wear your hat here, but like the fear that I have is that they kind of get us in the mode of like, ooh, human meat, it tastes delicious. It's a mixture between chicken and pork. It's kind of salty, but it's very lean. And then all of a sudden they turn us against each other. Global civil war, where not the elites, but the ground troops, the serfs, if you will, are now fighting amongst themselves. And it's like, well, we don't have time to create livestock. What's wrong with eating each other? So we don't really have to worry about starvation because we'll just simply eat our enemies, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, big guy. I think you're on the right 4chan boards. I think you need to stay right where you're at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was like a windy path. I'm not really sure. I was trying to, play Tetris with that.
But yeah, don't think about it too long.
Ooh-wee.
It'll hurt.
Yeah,
I am an alumni of the Port Chester University.
That's right.
Go whooping cranes.
I was going to say, Nastradumbass, you a fan of PCU?
Blow me where the Pampers is, Wesley.
Great. Now, any questions for us? Or any message you would like us to send to the potential lab meat growers? They're probably scientists of some sort. Don't know what you call them.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're average paid scientists. It's really about like the Bill Gateses of the world. Like, I know Mer's an Elon Musk fan, but that guy's a human meat connoisseur. You know?
Yeah.
So, just like I said, guys, keep your eyes open. Dare I say, stay woke.
No. What?
Y'all, it's been ruined, but the original meaning of it, that would have worked for this scenario.
That worked so well. That hit so hard in 1500.
People had no idea. People couldn't read.
Stay awake. Ever sleep.
Don't ever sleep.
Well, thank you, Nastradumbass. You've been, whenever we summon you again, what do we, rub our stomach 3 times and say your name in the mirror?
I'll move my tassel to the back to signify the job is done. I'll catch you on the flip side, boys.
All right. Thank you, Nastradumbass.
Wow. Man, who'd have thought like just a slight wardrobe change would just completely affect the personality and messaging.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad his seamstress guy. Hey, but do it, man.
Hey, what were you guys doing for the last 15 minutes?
I don't know. Your camera cut out, and we just continued on and summoned our mythical friend Nastradumbass.
I always miss that guy. I hear he's a fucking riot, actually.
Yeah, he's got some one-liners, some singers. He's got some good views, and obviously, I'm not exactly sure of his fortune-telling aptitude, but his words of advice are rock solid. I take it. I go to sleep thinking about it.
I don't know much about him, but I think he had a bunch of writings back in the day, and he predicted a lot of shit. You guys should probably read them.
He seems awfully aloof for a guy who knows everything.
Yeah.
Look, man, he probably can't pull everything up out of that brain on a dime.
Well, I mean, but he's very flippant with his warnings.
You know so much,
Yeah, man, you guys
not,
fucked, I guess.
not that I take it personal. I don't know the guy.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, let's fire away. It's been 2 weeks more. I know you probably have some of the best of the middle of or middle part of July. But let's expand our craniums. Let's get silly. Let's get wild.
Let's get to your Fun Fact Friday. Here we go. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday, brought to you, of course, by our good friends over at the Shin Splints Recovery Group, and I can't say that there are new friends now because they've been around for about a year. The Flat Earth Science Advocates for Truth, I do believe, need to start sharing some more videos from the TikTok that I've been seeing about flat earthers. I will give them credit. I've seen a lot of videos recently of flat earthers trying to prove their flat earth theory and failing miserably, and then coming up with more deluded reasons as to why their scientific failures still somehow in some way. They push them further to try to prove their own truth, but their own truth is still clouded by reality, unfortunately for them. But do go find the Flat Earth Science Advocates for Truth. I saw them they launched a rocket into low Earth orbit, and they were all very now see, if you and I did that and we saw the curvature of the Earth from space, we'd be like, oh my god, that's amazing, I can't believe we built this rocket and spent all this money and achieved our goal. And these guys were crestfallen by the fact that science actually revealed itself.
The things, some things are actually true.
I saw one the other day on TikTok where I don't remember what instrument they were using. I think it was like a laser of sorts. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, they were explaining why it wouldn't work. Then it did work. So then they were like, well, maybe it was this part of it, this part of the instrumentation, and then it worked again. This part of the instrumentation. Ooh, and they like quadrupled down. And then one of the guys is mic'd up at like some beach party where they're promoting. It's basically like a bunch of flat earthers are getting together to party and fornicate, and he's like, yeah, this one didn't work. It could be bad for us.
It reminded me of the scene in Die Hard with a Vengeance when he's like trying to explain to the bad guys that like the security system's down. It's like, oh, but don't tell anyone. It's like, yeah, because they were simply shining a light across a lake on a platform, and yeah, it's like, well, if the experiment fails, then we'll be off by exactly 3 feet. It's like, hey, where are you shining your light? I'm shining it straight across. Well, it's 3 feet above me. It's like, shit.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, science works.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Your mental floss, amazing facts. Did you know, on the evening of July 1st, 1566, Nastradumbass predicted, quote, "You will not see me alive at sunrise." And he was right. He died the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he predicted his death, or was he just dying and people believed anything he said?
That's a pretty easy one, I would think. Like, ooh, I don't think this is the clams. Let me write this shit down real quick. He's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you gonna deny a man who called his own death?
Kobe. Sorry.
It's a yeah. I just watched it was like a YouTube documentary of all of his his predictions, and they were it was being narrated, and I think some of the verbiage didn't necessarily translate, so that they were being a little I guess generous with some of the loose fitting translations and how it applied to things hundreds of years later.
Well, I think what's amazing about Nostradamus is the fact that when it happens, whatever it is, when the thing happens, right? You go back and you read the thing that he wrote like 400 years ago, 500 years ago. And you're like, fuck, man, he was like spot on. But he can't be spot on until it happens. So it's like it's not really you can't predict something that doesn't happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it has to happen. So there's no it's a fool's errand, like going through his works. Like anybody who studies him to try to like gain future knowledge is a fool, because you can read this thing like that the steely birds shall fly into the towers of steel. And it's like, okay, all right. So then you got to dissect all that and figure out what it is. Then if you stop it, it didn't happen. Therefore, it's not a prediction.
Steely Dan's gonna die. God, we better
Yeah.
protect him.
Yeah. No, that's it's definitely it. It's always like very like, you know, street psychic of like every time I like when you like you said something happens and then you read his thing and you're like, "Oh. She was like, somebody died today." Oh, thanks, Nostradamus. Insightful. Like I always feel like they're too generic.
They
Yeah.
are, but they aren't. Like, I mean, considering like how far away he was from the event, it's like, wow, that was really specific that we
Yeah.
could never, unfortunately, we'd never be able to translate it until it happened.
Or well, like, or is it that just that he said these things so fucking long ago that like at this point 400 to 500 years later it was just bound to happen anyway?
Like he's like the Simpsons, like predicting
Yes.
things in modern
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
Like we just have such a good creative team that we've come up with every possible scenario in human life, and then eventually it's gonna happen, and then we're like, look, they're fucking aliens.
Well, I mean, even like the Trump, the Simpsons predicting Trump as
Yeah.
president, right? Like at the time, everybody's like, "That's so stupid. That'll never happen." Then it does. It's like they predicted it. We should have seen it coming. Like, yeah, you can't see it coming.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nostradamus. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's also
Nostradamus.
when you fold the back of a $20 bill, you see the Twin Towers on fire.
That's fair. Yep,
They
that's true.
printed money to try to tell us, but we didn't listen.
That's right. You gotta like fold it like a whooping crane in some ancient Japanese ceremony, but it's there, man. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know? Ooh, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, located on a remote Arctic island in Spitsbergen, Norway, houses more than 1 million seed samples native to places around the world. The vault acts as a sort of backup drive for the world's crops, preserving specimens in a safe place in case disaster wipes them out in nature. It's deep enough underground and high enough above sea level to withstand earthquakes, ocean rise, and nuclear attacks.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Now I'm interested in this. I'd like to see
It
a
looks
little.
cool
like,
too. Have you
I'd like to
seen?
see-
Like, you should pull
I have
it
not
up.
seen this.
Dude,
Share it.
it's like basically it's like in the side of like an Arctic mountain, and it's
Okay.
like these giant vault doors, and it's
Yeah.
like something out of Star Wars, like something on like if you found
Yeah.
the Rebel base on Hoth.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what
And then
it is. Hold on, I got you.
And funny enough, they've actually had to take some seeds out of there recently, some wheat seeds, because something wasn't growing in some region of the world, and they're like, all right, yeah, look at that shit.
Wow. So I wonder, like, how I'm
Right.
curious as to how they. Obviously, they section everything off. You know, so you're not just growing this in a patch of soil, hoping that native things are and you start like colliding with one another.
No, they're
Oh, no,
dry
th-
seeds. Like
Yeah,
if you went to
they're
Whole
just
Foods,
seeds.
Seeds.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
like if
okay.
you went to Whole Foods and you were like, I need some pinto beans that are unwashed, and they're just sitting there in a tray.
Yeah.
Damn. Is
They're
this a
just in, like,
UN thing?
bags and like tubes and shit.
Is
This
this
is-
is this a UN thing, or is this
I think
Norway
it's-
just being Norwegians?
I think it's a non-profit, like global fund, like every country in the world, like they
Yeah.
send their seeds to them when they've got like a crop. And yeah, I think there was something in Afghanistan that like wouldn't grow anymore, and they're like, well, that's because you guys fucked with it too much, and they had to actually go and send them like a batch of seeds to start growing shit again.
Damn.
You know what?
Interesting.
I just read something on their website as I'm casually glancing at their fucking shit. It said, who can take the seeds out? The seed boxes are stored under black box conditions, meaning the depositors are the only ones who can withdraw their own seeds. When seeds are deposited in the global seed vault, their legal ownership is not transferred. That means that the depositor who chooses to store seeds in the seed vault is still the owner and the only one who can withdraw them. So, like, fucking bank account. So, like, if the rest of the world goes tits up and America's got fucking seeds in there, America's like, fuck y'all. We're the ones growing corn, bitches. Like, we don't even got a share. I thought it was like a communal share vault. Apparently, it's just a fucking seed bank.
I think it is, but I think they don't want other non what do you call it? Like other regions of the world, they don't want them going like, hey, we want some of that American corn. We want to try growing it here. Like you can't just do
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, no, that I get. But I feel like after we bomb ourselves into the fucking Stone Age, that at that point, who the like 3 Norwegian guys in this fucking vault are like, all right, who wants some fucking corn? Like,
So hold on, did Afghanistan ask for opium poppy seeds? But,
Maybe.
we ran out, got no more.
we need it for medicines.
yeah.
This thing ever been used in a movie? I feel like that would be like a good like movie plot device. Is like
Probably.
shit's gone down.
Someone takes it over, kind of
Yeah.
like a rock type thing.
Yeah, yes, and almost like it would almost end up being like what's that zombie fucking show that you guys like? Walking Dead kind of like a Walking Dead kind of scenario. You've got like a guy out front with like a fucking barbed wire baseball bat. You ain't coming in here, champ. This is our seed bank.
You ain't coming to get our seeds.
We're planting seeds right in there. I'm talking about me and my girlfriend.
Did you know the annual number of worldwide shark bites is 10 times less than the number of people bitten by other people in New York?
Oh, the next New
Actually,
York
did-
City.
I did
And
see
what is
that
there?
the other day.
There's like 1,600 a year, something like that, or 3,200 maybe. Maybe
What?
no, it was 1,600, and I jokingly said, "Well, it involves 3,200, right?
Yes,
because there's a
yes.
biter and a bitey. Yeah, so it's 10 times less. So we got like roughly 160.
Yeah, there's not that many shark bites. Everybody's
No.
all freaked out about like sharks and shit. The only reason I think we're freaked out Jaws freaked us out like decades ago, and now drones are freaking us out now because it's like, holy shit, like you just didn't know how many sharks were swimming around you.
Yeah.
And now you can see them and you're like, it's kind of one of those deals like you're not afraid of what you don't know, but now you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Australia and South Africa, aren't they kind of capitals of shark attacks, especially
yeah.
especially Australia?
Well, they're capitals of sharks, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, of course, you'll get. As a matter of fact, I was trying to sell some of this the other day. Maybe it was like a couple of years ago. I don't know. The other day, a couple of years ago, a hot minute. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
About like shark. I was like, dude, there hasn't been a registered or a publicized shark bite north of, I think it was South Carolina. There's been one ever since 1900. It was in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but
And scientists are still kind of baffled. I mean, they're like, yeah, we know sharks will swim up that far north, but I don't know, like, why you got nothing. But all of a sudden, this guy, maybe this shark just lost its mind and its radar. Like, wait a minute, where the hell am I? Holy shit!
And that's a fair point, man. It's like you always try to like justify like things like from like a sanity point, like I always remind people like, hey, Jeffrey Dahmer ate people. Jeffrey Dahmer seduced gay men up to his apartment and then dined on them and then dissolved them in a barrel of acid. That's a really fucking crazy thing to do, but not everybody's Jeffrey Dahmer. Every now and again, there's an asshole shark, and he just wants to fuck things up. Okay, he's like the Joker. He just wants to see the world burn.
Yeah, some asshole shark. That's actually the kingdom phylum of it, Assholus maximus.
Maybe that's the next. Sci-fi really hasn't come out with like any quality entertainment since Sharknado. Maybe they just need to make asshole shark. He just goes around biting people and it's like, nah, I don't even want to eat them.
No, there was that Jason Statham movie, The Meg.
That wasn't sci-fi.
That wasn't sci-fi. That was like a real movie.
Yeah, that wasn't. I'm talking about the Sci-Fi Channel, the channel that used to
Oh.
be the scientific like network that literally jumped the shark and turned into fucking ridiculous science fiction related bullshit.
Gotcha.
I thought they did fucking do like something got crazy with like Sharknado and something else, and they definitely made something else that was fucking worse.
I do have to give some recognition to the corporate individuals who took the Science Channel and turned it into a radioactive fucking entertainment front. that had 0% to do with science anymore and turned it like you're talking about the place where you learned about the human circulatory system in 1990, and then by the year 2005 you were literally watching a movie about a rogue tornado that sucked up fucking great white sharks, probably more than have ever existed on Earth, and then doused the continent of North America with them. Like that's the same channel. And some guy made the decision to make that turn, and I applaud him.
Fucking 5 Sharknadoes, buddy.
Well, only the first 2 count, okay? Speaking of sharks, did you know the deep-sea dwelling goblin shark has a jaw that shoots outward to grab prey in what scientists have dubbed, quote, slingshot feeding? It can deploy its jaw at 10 feet per second, roughly twice the speed that New York City pedestrians walk.
Weird.
Weird that they use New York City pedestrian as the
like
what are they faster or New York pedestrian? They walk per capita per year faster than the average American. I know they bite a lot. Maybe that's why they walk so fast. Like, come here.
well, I think the biggest thing is like you try to give comparisons. You like it was like as fast as you ever seen a deer run, and then you're like, oh, in your mind's eye, you're like, oh, okay, that's a comparison I understand. What the fuck? As fast as a New York City pedestrian. Oh, hey, okay. Thanks, Alan, calendar.
see if you can Google this math for us here. How many miles per hour is 10 feet per second? Because I want to see what they claim a New York City pedestrian like moves at. Because before we got on the show here, I walked a half a mile at 5 miles per hour, which gets your elbows swinging like an asshole in the Olympics who deserves no medals.
So what?
10 feet per second is 6.8 miles per hour.
Okay, so bull fucking shit. 6.8 miles an hour is the pace that you want to run if you're like in your mid 40s and you want to do a 5K at a reasonable pace. So they ain't walking that fucking fast. They're giving New York City motherfuckers way too much credit.
What animal did you say it was?
Goblin shark.
The goblin shark.
Okay.
They're hideous.
Yeah, are they deep sea or are they just so rare?
They're deep sea.
Okay,
they got these fucking beady ass eyes, and it's almost like if you took the movie Alien and like the alien like mated with sharks, and it's like shoots its fucking like mouth out at them.
Damn, that's sexy as shit. And they do it faster than New Yorkers walk. That's wild.
6.8 miles an hour. Okay, you can run a mile in 8.5 minutes at 7 miles per hour. So you're talking about like you're not walking that goddamn fast.
No, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely absurd.
They are terrifying fucking looking creatures. I'm not gonna lie.
Give us a screen share if you've got it, sir.
Those New Yorkers, they sure are. God, they're all weird.
They walk so fast. They're like, see, here's more of them. So like, see how like this part comes out of their skull.
Oof.
Yeah.
Looks like some sort of obscure dildo mitten.
Right?
Like a dildo oven mitt.
Like one of them fucking like alien dildos, but it's a fleshlight, and you're like, oh, weird. Oh, this is terrible.
It's all glistening.
It looks like what the dude, it's Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice when the woman asked them to like, you gotta look ugly. It kind of like maybe stretches his nose all out.
Yeah, shit out. Yeah,
kind of like that.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Wow. And that's why people are freaked out by sharks. Mm-hmm. Some of them look like that. And finally, did you know a hot dog is legally a sandwich in California, according to the state's tax law?
Oh, I was going to say, what piece of legality spells out the definition of a sandwich?
Let me ask you, hold on. Like, I think I got an idea. If you just have a hot dog stand, then you don't have to. If it's not a sandwich, then you don't have to pay. Probably certain you have to get not a food cert, but you have to get like an application. A license, right? If you know what I'm saying. No, I think if if you're just a hot dog stand, it might be a cheaper license as opposed to like a food stand that serves sandwiches.
Because essentially, because a hot dog stand, you're just serving a tube of meat. It just so happens that the bun is like the container in which you're like
Vehicle, yeah.
handing it to the person. But if you say like, well, technically a sandwich is meats between two slices of bread, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I mean, technically it's just two slices of bread with meat in it. That's a sandwich that goes under sandwich tax. Like you've created something.
Or maybe
Nah,
like is
I just-
food tax different than like not snack tax in California? I don't know. I feel like California's wild.
I think
Yeah,
it's
like,
the licensing, like
everybody's
the licensing that
leaving
you
it.
have to have. You know, and again, I'm just totally bullshitting on that, but my guess would be because of licensing.
Okay, so the question then we must answer now is
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is hot dog a sandwich? So I can eat about 40 of them, but I can't eat 40 sandwiches.
Man,
Well,
this is tough. Gun to my
Let me
head, I
ask
say
this then.
no.
Okay, is a hoagie a sandwich? Is a sub a sandwich? I mean,
Yeah.
technically, submarine sandwich.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would,
why wouldn't a hot dog be? Yeah.
yeah, because like I mean, just because it's a tube of meat doesn't it's still a meat, and you're gussing it up with other things. Generally speaking, like most adults don't just fucking eat a plain hot dog on a bun.
Yeah, they put 2 buns in there, 3 buns with all beef patties and special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and sesame seeds.
He forgot the onion.
That's a sandwich. I did forget the onions that well.
Yeah.
I would say no, simply just because the fucking hot dog is. Now, don't get me wrong, love them, eat the shit out of them. They're disgusting things, you know.
Yeah, they are gross. But
I just mean like
that was lunch meat, honestly.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. My favorite ones are the Hebrew National.
yeah.
Those,
They are tasty.
I'll tell you what. Those Jews, they do 2 things well: make movies and hot dogs. I'll tell you that right. Goddamn.
The all beef franks are superior. So yeah, fuck it, it's a sandwich. All right, you got me. Oh, can't sleep now.
I would argue that because the bun is connected, it's not a sandwich. But I guess
Well,
you
then
can
he
make
was-
that argument for subs, right? Like,
Subs, yeah.
So
Slippery slope. It's tough, man. And California figured it out. These New York street vendors are just making hand over foot and then stuffing it into casing and putting it back in their dirty water to cook more. The Californians are taxing them.
I do have a question for you guys. How come a street hot dog tastes so much fucking better than any hot dog I've ever made? Like,
oh,
at
because
home?
they
It's
spit
the
it.
dirty water. Yeah, because they spit in the dirty water that it festers in. No.
Dude, I have made I have boiled Hebrew and I'm not joking about the Hebrew Nationals. I think they are the best hot dog in the world. And really you can only boil them. That's the only way to do it, and you get that nice greasy water. And I've even steamed my buns. And I still can't get that street hot dog vendor fucking flavor, man. There's just something there.
It's the seasoning. Like it's like a
Vinegar?
yeah. It's like when you find a deli and it makes like a mean fucking like bacon, egg, and cheese or some shit, or like it's one of the. It's because that fucking that grill that bad boy's coming off of is seasoned to perfection over years of fucking wiener dogs and fucking Reuben sandwiches or whatever whatever. But it's the same principle. Like they just keep fucking seasoning that hot dog water tub and they come out fucking tasty.
So dirty water dog, which is what you're talking about, is broth that is highly seasoned with ketchup, chili powder, cumin, and salt. Term dirty water dog does not refer to the usage of disgusting water from the Hudson River, rumored to once have been believed. So there's a bonus. Did you know? So there you go.
Hudson River cleaned up by who? RFK Jr. USA, USA. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Well, we're going to go from one hot dog to another hot dog story. And we're actually going to do a little bit of a segue because, of course, on the 4th of July, a delayed crowd had to, what was it, about an hour and a half on Coney Island?
It was. I think it was like 2 hours because I fucking ended up watching like the replacement Sports Center guys for far longer than I wanted to.
It just kept reminding you, this is like, oh, it's coming any second now.
Well, because in the bottom corner they wrote like in rain delay. I'm like, this is a fucking do it inside. It's hot dogs, man.
Yeah, that doesn't unless it was lightning. That doesn't necessarily seem like a sporting event that
Unless
should
they
be
dip
held up
them in
by
water anyway. Fuck it. Just have at it.
So, yes, Joey Chestnut recorded his 16th Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. I mean, they say Father Time's undefeated. I don't know. I mean, what's going to take Jaws down?
Well, the thing is like what has fascinated me about Joey Chestnut, and I know what you're saying, like Father Time is undefeated, but like we've never actually had a competitive hot dog eating champion age. So we don't know what that number is. And Joey Chestnut too has been so far ahead of the competition for like over a decade now that like one, is he the greatest competitive eater of all time? And two, do competitive eaters age? We don't know either answer to those questions.
What was that Asian guy that used to be the man before Joey
Kobayashi.
Chestnut came on the scene? Yeah, that guy, like, he either got too old and couldn't hang with Joey Chestnut, or Joey Chestnut stole that motherfucker's will to live, and then he just never Kobayashi'd ever again. Which is
What was the story
probably
with Kobayashi? What was the deal? Like, because
So
I remember
he-
he ate like on like a rooftop like across the street one year, like because he was like banned for some reason.
Yeah, he had a dispute with Nathan's, the actual company, for payment or something like that. I don't know. It revolved around money. I don't know if it was money that he felt that he should have been owed, or that he felt as though he brought a crowd, therefore she should get some profit sharing or something. It's something like that. But I'm not. It was money.
Okay, well, guess what?
no.
Money doesn't
So,
equal mustard belt.
according
Now,
to the
does
New
it?
York Times, Kobayashi had a dispute with Major League Eating because of the exclusivity of its contracts. Like, he would have only been able to fucking earn money from Major League Eating events.
So it's like a
Okay.
live golf situation. This is like the
Yeah.
PGA versus the Saudis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm trying to
I want to.
I'm trying to fucking I don't make enough money off of this one event. I gotta go to your local fucking diner and eat 72 egg omelets to make
Right.
some money." You know,
Well,
To get
one
a free
thing
T-shirt.
One thing I have to say, and I think it was a little too blown up, but they had to do it because that's the article. But apparently, old Joey Chestnut, they were going to cancel the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and Joey Chestnut said, "Fuck this, we're doing it." And then the competitor, the promoters were like, "All right, well, Joey said we have to do it, so I guess we do." So everybody's like giving Joey Chestnut like it's just Joey Chestnut was just like, no one's gonna care about the Nathan's hot dog eating competition on July 5th or 6th or anywhere else. You have to do it on July 4th. There's no, it's like but it's Joey Chestnut. Like, what are you gonna do? And I wonder what kind of like methodology he goes through to like pump himself up for this competition, because he beats everybody like by like 20 hot dogs every year.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, 16 times in a row, I don't think he thinks too much, man. Well-oiled machine. It's like, all right, 2 months prior, I fucking prepare. This is how I prepare. This is the winning formula. Don't change nothing. Get ready. Here it comes. Jaws. Fucking.
got more Kobayashi dirt, yo. So apparently these Major League Eating fucking contracts made Major League Eating the exclusive representative of like those athletes, and gave them the rights to negotiate revenue opportunities, of which they would keep 20%. So I mean, sounds pretty bad. In 2010, he showed up and fucking the crowd started chanting that he should fucking compete, and he jumped on stage and got arrested.
Punk asses. Publicity stunt. All right. Well, congratulations. We get way too fascinated with Joey Chestnut. I know.
Well, because I think that when we go through like the the lineage of the greatest of all time, if you're gonna call something a professional competition, and then you have to say like who's the GOAT, like it's laughable to say that Joey Chestnut is one of the greatest champions of all time. But if we are going to brand this thing a sport, then you do have to mention him at the top of the lists. And so people find it laughable, but it's like, well, how seriously do you take sport? Because if you've decided that this is a sport, then you have to also say that this guy deserves some sort of Hall of Fame trophy somewhere. So it has to be mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do a Mount Rushmore. Jordan, Ali, I don't know, Jesse Owens, and then fucking Joey Chestnut.
Chestnut.
It wouldn't even be Jesse Owens. It could be anybody. You get my point. Male athletes as well. I don't want to discriminate.
Wait, you mean you do want to discriminate?
I do want to discriminate. Damn it, we're gonna have to buzz that one out. Someone's just gonna take that one
Isn't that
tagline.
fascinating? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
No offense to the ladies out there, but like even Serena Williams admits that like no, any fucking male tennis player would destroy me like at the professional level. It's not a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. You're fine. They're the
I don't know
greatest
about
athletes.
any. Like some low level fucking male tennis player would probably get worked on by Serena.
Probably not.
She ain't knocking out like Djokovic or something. You know what I
No,
mean?
but-
Like
oh,
that.
no. Probably not the top 500. But then after that, I think you're
That's
then
a
you
lot. That's a lot of people, by the way.
yeah, man. But that's
I didn't even know
that's
there
the
was that many
discrepancy.
tennis players in the world. Fuck.
Yeah, professionals. You have your doubles guys. Whatever. All right. Moving on. Okay. Congratulations, Joey Chestnut, 16. We'll see you in 2024 for number 17. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Actually, we're gonna do a live. We'll do it fucking live.
I'll write it.
Maybe we'll
I'll
go to
write it.
Philly home.
We'll do it live.
4th of July. Here we come. All right. This is coming via the New York Post study that was put out. Or actually, it doesn't say study. It just says according to. And get this, folks. If you're unemployed and you're looking for some employment, you might want to check the old career tab over at the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. That's right, my friends. Never knew it. You learn something new every day, and I've learned that council exists.
Damn.
According to them, they say slathering a frankfurter in a layer of cool, tangy ketchup is a foodie, and I don't know, is it faux pas? Fauxpas? Faux pas, which I know the definition of, but I didn't know what it was. According to, for folks who are 18 and over, if you can vote, it's time for your taste buds to vote for a hot dog without ketchup. The National Hot Dog and Sausage Council President Eric Mittenhall told the Post. Sweetness is just is not that ideal match. Not that of an ideal match. Excuse me. Is not the ideal match for a hot dog. A New Yorker knows mustard, onions, and sauerkraut are preferable toppings. So, what do you folks say? What do you two say about lathering that sugary, ready, probably kind of a glorified sweet and sour sauce on that puppy?
I say, fuck you to the sausage and hot dog president. Kiss my ketchup loving ass.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should put whatever the fuck you want on your hot dog. I'm a mustard and onions guy personally, but I mean, I put ketchup and mustard on it from time to time. A little relish, Yeah, fuck it. Ketchup's good.
My ideal hot dog is ketchup, cheese sauce, chili, and onions. Boom.
That's
Why do you need the ketchup with the chili?
with the chili. Yeah,
'Cause-
that's the
because-
thing I never got. Like, I'm also not a ketchup and cheese person. Sorry.
I don't know because like one, I've grown up on ketchup hot dogs,
Okay.
ketchup on hot dogs,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to zhuzh it up a little bit. I can like if you gave me a chili dog without ketchup with onions, I'm not gonna be like, don't take it back. I mean, the chili does suffice, but I do like that little. I don't know. Maybe it is the sweetness of the ketchup that I like. Maybe it's the tangy zing that the ketchup provides that I enjoy. I don't think anybody, especially from the Hot Dog and Sausage Association, should be telling me how to eat my hot dogs and my motherfucking sausages.
Yeah.
I gag at mustard and at
Oh, really?
relish. Yeah, I
Huh.
do. And I've tried it. In my adult age, I said, you know what? Maybe I was being a pussy 20 years ago. Let me try this shit one more time. Like, it's not fair to the condiment community that I've, shooed away the mustard folk of the world. And I said, let me try some mustard on this. And I almost puked. I hate mustard. Sadly, but truly. I gave it a shot. I didn't like it. Same thing with pickles and relish. I want to like pickles. I look at it, I'm like, God damn, look at that wedge of glory. I want that in my mouth. And then I put it in my mouth and I bite, and all of a sudden my gag reflex kicks in, and I'm like, nope, can't do it, baby.
I just find mustard interesting. Like, I kind of get relish because, like, relish is kind of relish can be a little gross. And then pickles, like, I hate pickles on sandwiches. I fucking do not like pickles on sandwiches, but I'll eat a pickle. Like, I'll eat a spear.
That's
know
how
what I
you're
mean?
supposed to eat them, by the way. I tell you, there's a pickle conspiracy out there. They were provided by delicatessens to clean your palate
Yeah.
between bites of different sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's why they put them in there. And all of a sudden, the pickle conglomerate came along and was like, hey, listen,
See.
pickles go with sandwiches. And you see? And then the adrenochrome fucking conspiracy was fucking
Yeah.
committed to memory.
Big fucking pickle knows exactly how to harvest adrenal glands.
He
So, Wes,
also is a great actor in Triple X Cinema, just so you know.
okay, so Wes,
Yeah.
do you stand on the high horse of mustard?
Listen, I certainly wouldn't be pretentious enough and I don't know if this guy has a death sentence, or wants to be unemployed or knocked down a peg or two from the president of a very prestigious council, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
Because in my opinion, I don't give a fuck what you put on your hot dog. I don't. That's ridiculous. And you need to grow up, motherfucker. Listen,
Interesting.
I will. What do you mean interesting? I know
Interesting.
because at some point when I got to be about 15 years old, I didn't really like the taste of ketchup wasn't exactly appetizing to me. I like it on French fries. That is about it. If it's on a cheesesteak, I'm cool with it. If it's on a hamburger with cheese and onions and tomatoes and stuff, I'm cool with it. It's not my preference. If it happens to find it's on the way though on there, hot dogs now. I mean, it's mustard, onion. If you have some relish, that's cool. I do like some jalapenos on there. Actually, as a matter of fact, I want to show you guys this. I got one of these when I was in Chicago the other day, and you guys know my.
One of those gross Chicago dogs.
You guys know my appetite, and
Yeah.
hold on one second. Oops, and you know exactly what I'm about.
That's the one they put a pickle on, ain't it? And like tomatoes.
It was
Fucking
it was one
weirdo.
of these. You can imagine, got jalapeno slices, a big dollop of mustard. You can imagine I was feeling pretty good.
Oh. I like.
This
And
looks
this is
fucking awful. Like,
no, I, no,
but
yeah.
like, no, I mean, I'm sure it's probably delicious if it's that's your thing, but like, nah, that's not how I fucking eat. You don't put that on hot dogs. That's
Okay.
fucking ridiculous.
I listen. I back up Alan's sentiment here, but like when I see that, like I wish I could try it, man. Like
Okay.
I just know what my mouth and my gag reflex is gonna do to that. Like I wish I could be like, no, I'm gonna give this a go. I can't.
Gotcha.
So
I
let
can't
me
do it.
ask, like, what is it about? Is it just the taste? Is there like I don't like pickles? I get right. Like I sometimes will take a pickle out of like the towards the end of a jar, and that bitch is a little bit soggier, and I'm like, nah, no thanks. That's we're throwing those pickles away now. They're not crisp anymore. You know what I mean? So like that I get, and relish obviously same shit. But like mustard, just like.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the that smell taste conundrum, but it's like there's such a musty flavor to ketchup or mustard that like I don't, which I guess maybe that's where the word comes from, but
Yeah.
I can't describe it to you. Like my taste buds just they reject it. Like I want to like it. I see that, man, especially like, okay, being like almost a lifelong visitor to the Fox household, like a variety of mustards available to you, and all sorts of
Honey's, Dijons, brown mustard, all the mustards.
yeah,
Stone
and,
ground. Yeah.
yeah, and just I just no, I can't do it. I've tried and I can't. And I wish I could. Like, I mean, even like mustard seed is mentioned in the Bible. I would like to eat a biblical food, but I cannot do it.
That sucks. So it's
Yeah,
ketchup.
that sucks. That's
Ketchup
kinda
hot dogs
crazy,
for you, yeah.
Look, honestly, my perfect hot dog. I'll describe it to you.
Okay.
It is a slightly burned hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
though.
Okay,
Naturally.
on a steamed bun with bacon crumbles on it, a little bit of ketchup, some hot sauce, fresh onions, not grilled, cheese sauce, and fucking chili. That's my fucking perfect hot dog.
Phew, that's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I'll tell you what, if that's what
think
if
the
I'm
thing is, like, I don't like my hot dogs to be like too much. Like I think that's my big there's never more than like 2 ingredients on my hot dog. It's mustard and
But-
onions.
But I'll
Chili
tell you what,
cheese.
man. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, you give me a hot dog with just ketchup on it, I'm a fucking satisfied man.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And by the
fuck
way,
you.
Wes, the reason I
Haircut and
give
all.
you grief about like I don't care how you eat your hot dog or what you put on it, because how many goddamn times have you given me shit about a well done steak? Why do you give a
Well.
shit about how I consume steak? Now I don't do that anymore, but either way, you've still given me so much shit about that because one time in your fucking purview, I ordered a well done steak, you couldn't let it go.
Well, I mean, you've heard the term apples to pears. This is steaks to hot dogs, bro. Different argument. Totally different argument.
But your claim is that you ruined that steak. Not for me. Not for me.
Spend your money where you want. Get the fuck out of my way. How about that? Fuck that. Put whatever you want on your steak. Put the ketchup on your steak too. How about that? I like a well done steak with a bunch of sugary ass ketchup.
I'll have the Trump, please.
Nah, I'm gonna judge the shit out of you for that. I mean, do whatever you please, but I'm gonna definitely judge you for it.
Yeah, you're getting judged.
Okay, what's your take on getting A1 at a good steakhouse? If you just want some...
I personally like A1. Now, like, I'll do it at fucking Outback or Texas Roadhouse or fucking but would I go to fucking the Bygone or something here in Baltimore and order a fucking $40 steak and then ask for A1? Nah, I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
keep the A1 away from my Roost Chris. But I do there's
Wait.
some
Is it out of embarrassment or is it out of what's that where does that come from?
I don't know what you don't need to enhance that cut of meat.
Yeah. Like, the meat that I'm getting at that restaurant is not the same. Like, the 8-ounce filet I'm getting at the Bygone is not the 8-ounce filet that I'm getting at fucking Outback Steakhouse.
I know, and I agree with all of that, but I guess my point would be, with A1, like Alan, I like the taste of A1, and I eat A1 with steak. There's no other time. I'll marinate my burgers in it a little bit sometimes, but there's no other time that I would use that sauce except for with that particular cut of meat. So why wouldn't I? That's my point. It's when X comes to Y, that's when these two worlds collide. That's how I eat things.
Yeah, I mean, I also guess it's part I think there's a couple things that go into it, right? So the steak isn't coming out just with a steak. It's probably a dish with some kind of fucking demi glaze or some bullshit and some vegetables. So it's got accoutrement that I am not going to sully with A1, and again, the quality of that shit is better. And it is a little bit of a respect, having worked in the kitchen before. I'm gonna respect the guy who's working the Bygone's kitchen because that guy's definitely a chef. I'm not going to respect the cokehead that I used to work with at the Green Turtle that lost his job for drinking on the job and now is slinging steaks at Outback. That guy didn't do shit to that steak to make it better. The professionally trained chef at the Bygone definitely did.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Because I'm
know what I'm
paying the
saying?
same amount of... No, yeah, but I'm paying out the ass for his professionalism. And so
Yeah.
I'll enjoy his professionalism at my leisure and how I please.
I mean, yeah, I don't care. If you do it, go for it. That's just my reasoning why, at one place I would, at one place I wouldn't.
I've just heard stories of people getting A1 at a place like that and having the waiter or the chef come out and be like, "What is wrong with this steak?"
Oh yeah,
Nothing, motherfucker. This is how I eat it.
yeah.
Kiss my dick. Just like ketchup on my hot dog. Your hot dog's fine. My
Yeah.
ketchup is delicious.
I mean, look, I think the getting overly judgmental about the sauce choice on your tube meat, what are we fucking what are any of us uncultured swine actually talking about?
Right.
But yeah, if a tiny baby cow got murdered in Japan to make me a fucking $100 entree, I'm gonna try it the way that $100 baby cow fucking came to my plate.
Right.
Now, when fucking Jeff overcooks my fucking steak at the Outback, I gotta put a little sauce on it, fucking get it down my gullet. It's just a different experience.
Yeah, some of those elitists still put a little ketchup on the adrenal gland.
I hear it
taste just a
enhances
little
the
tickle?
flavor.
Just
Yeah,
It's that vinegar. It's the vinegar, man.
it's
Bring it
apple
out.
cider specifically.
Oh, Alan, tell all the ketchup users around this great country of ours where you can
You can
hang
find
out with
us
the
at
middle class souls.
www.heinz57.com.
Mhm.
It comes with French fried potato. Anyway, you can check us out on all our favorite social media platforms. We're at MTL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Class Holes on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. And for your listening pleasures, please check us out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Fucking email. Do we got anything else? Do we do anything?
Nothing.
Are we on Threads yet? We should probably just do it.
We got some comments though. A
Oh.
very long-winded debate in the Be Nitpicky TikTok video. That's where you talk about how someone running out of gas is an idiot, and this is why it's a total complete inconvenience. Well, these
Oh, I didn't
two
catch this one.
strangers to ours who just happened to stumble across the video gave it's probably 15 back and forths amongst one another.
I
It all
missed this. All right.
it all started by running out of gas running out of gas isn't an emergency. It's an inconvenience at best, unless you're creating a hazard by stopping in the middle of the highway. Then it goes back and forth. I'm not reading all those. Go check that one out. It's called Being Nitpicky.
Wait, hold on. It is an emergency.
What if I got a pregnant lady in my car and I run out of gas? You know, that's an emergency.
It's not okay. All right. Look, bottom line is maybe I don't know where they live, but I guess it does depend on where you live, whether you consider it an emergency or not. But that's fuck you. That's an emergency.
Also, generally speaking, don't run out of gas. I think that was the fucking gist of our thing anyway. It was like, don't be stupid.
And I think that was more aimed at Wes because didn't you run out of gas on the same spot on the same highway twice,
and
you had
twice in the same week on the same spot of the highway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Next two comments come via a witness to tragedy. This is where Murray gives us a very detailed view of his or his point of view when the Challenger blew up when he was in elementary school. Blickety Blow writes, "Oof, the Montgomery Ward comment hit close to home. You can add me to this list." I don't remember
That was Alan's addition there.
Yeah. Next, and I don't really know. I don't know if there's some sort of read between the lines one, but first of all, guys, his name is Jeff on TikTok. That's wild. He's the first of now Jeff fucking 5 million. He writes, "I watched the Challenger live during my lunch in the sky." Was he stoned?
No,
when he
sounds
watched
like
it?
maybe he was on a plane.
Yeah. Was he
Literally maybe he took off from Florida,
Yeah.
Orlando, and then was in the air and all right, folks, if you look
he
to the left,
actually saw it
out
out the window. Wow.
if you guys look to the
Possibly.
left, you're gonna see the Space Shuttle Challenger launching with a school teacher. Her name is Krista McCullough, and she's heading up to space to do some scientific research. Oh my God!
Folks, look out the other window. You'll see the beautiful state of Florida. Lots of gators, swamp, golf, and retirees. Lastly, coming from Psych Tyson, longtime commenter. You said you know him, right?
Yeah, I'm yes.
Okay, fair enough. We're done. This is where you said Vanna White demanding more money. Okay, so Murr better take it easy, blaspheming Vanna White like that. I was 5 or 6 in Oklahoma. I was with my parents while they were furniture shop. No, I was with my parents while they were furniture shopping. The store had a cardboard cutout of her on display. She was my first boner. Also, she would never have bunions. He should have more love for Vanna and less for AI. What the fuck really is wrong with him? Sorry, that last sentence kind of carried on.
Yeah, it's fine.
First boner,
listen,
you should
man.
appreciate her more. Diggly diggly do.
Listen, okay, I appreciate Vanna White. I get her. I understand. I know why she's there. I've gone back. Look. I went and I found the Playboy so I could have it in my possession for the rest of my life. I love Vanna White, but at some point, it's just like Joey Chestnut. When's he gonna retire? When does it dwindle? We all have our favorite athletes, and it's sad when they fucking go too long. That's Vanna White.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, on that note, folks, have a good night getting old and watching gravity and the sunlight just decay your body until you're withered and turning numbers over somewhere else.
Eating that fake meat.
Eating that fake meat. That's right.
The lab meat.
According to Nastradumbass, they're eating your meat, the gatekeepers.
I'm just saying.
Your ground up meat, not your
I'm
boners.
just saying. feed your rich friends lab grown meat before you're on their dinner table next, buddy.
Lick that
Not me.
bunion. Lick that bunion meat. And have a good night.
Bunion meat. That's right.
Those are the lower grade gatekeepers eating bunions. Good night, folks.